This video is going to walk you through error handling in Python. As a programmer, does it mean we are not going to encounter errors? Definitely, we are going to encounter errors, not just once, not twice, but most times you might encounter one or two errors. Now, error handling, does it mean we are avoiding errors? We are not avoiding errors. We are just trying to handle the potential error that may occur at runtime. Now, this aid user experience, what do I mean? When you deploy your software or your application, the end users, if they encounter any error, because you've put this error handling strategy in place, it will give them informative information about what has happened and what they are supposed to do. In Python, we have 4 steps in handling error. For this course, we are going to use a simple calculator that adds 2 numbers, subtract 2 numbers, divide 2 numbers, and multiply 2 numbers as an example. Okay, so the first step is the try block. Now, what is the try block? The try block is where we are going to put all the block of codes that we want to try out to see if there's a potential error or not. So we have the first variable, which is num1 equals to integer input, then we say enter number 1 value, then we'll do the same thing for num2, we say enter number 2 value, then we set an operation, an input operation for the user to choose. Then we say input, then we say choose your desired operation. So the person has addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then we set our condition. We said if operation equals addition, then we say print num1 plus num2. Else if operation equals subtraction, then we say print num1 minus num2. Else if operation equals multiplication, print num1 multiplied by num2. Else if operation equals division, print num1 divided by num2. So we have different kinds of errors in Python. We have the value error, the zero division error, the type error. Now, the next step for us now is to handle this error. We can handle a specific error, meaning we are handling type error. So when there's an exception of type error, it will just go straight and tell you, oh, this is what you are encountering. It's a type error. So for this course, let's pick the zero division error to handle. So we say except zero division error. Now to get all this list of errors, you can go through the Python documentation. You get them there. So say print error division by 0 is not allowed. Then we have another exception. Now this one is to handle all other kinds of error. Print you have one or more errors. Then the next step, which is the third step, is the else block. Now what happens in the else block is, maybe there are other operations we want to perform. We put it under the else block. For instance, I say print num1 raised to power of 2. Then we have the last step, which is finally. I have the last step, which is finally. I say print end of program. So like I said, the try block, we test all the block of codes that is there to see if there's a potential what exception. The else block now, the else block is depending on the try block, meaning anything that happens in this try block determine what will happen here. If there's an error here, the else block will not function. If everything over here is okay under the try block, then the else block is going to function. Then the exception block is waiting for the try block to return an error. When there's an error, it comes to the exception and see where does the error falls under. In this our case, is it a zero division error? If it's another type of error, then it comes under you have one or more what error what exception. Then we have the finally. This one does not wait for the try block or the else block or the exception block. There's an error, there's no error. The finally block will always what? Execute. So let's execute it and let's see, I have a better understanding. So it says enter number 1, I put 45. It says enter number 2, I put 0. It says choose operation, I put division. You see, I have an error that says error. Division by 0 is not what? Allowed. Instead of having a very long error that the user will not understand, if the user see or come across this outcome, you say, oh, so I made a mistake. So definitely I cannot divide what? A number by what? 0. So let's execute it again and let's see. So I put 45, I put 9, and I put division again, you see. Because everything is okay. See, the division works. Then the code we have under the else block also what? Produce and what? An outcome for us. Then the finally also what? Execute.